Hey guys, welcome back to Jordan Samuel Skin Talks. Look at who I'm here with.
Hi.
Stephanie Nicole. I'm so excited. We were answering your questions today. Part of it's going to be on her channel, part on Jordan Samuel Skin Talks.
Yeah.
So watch both.
Yeah. Okay, so someone said, best products for someone on a budget. Like, what's the most bang for your buck for dry skin? Like, if you had, right now, if you had to go into the drugstore, like a Target or something, and pick out something affordable that was good for, like, we always say, like, the CeraVe.
A CeraVe
line.
cleanser lotion, absolutely. Especially for dry skin, absolutely. Like, no questions asked. Honestly, it could be as straightforward as that. Like, you know, a lot of those creams have sodium hyaluronate in them. Maybe not in a high percentage, maybe not in a luxurious formula, but it's something that is going to work. There's great SPFs.
There's some great.
Aveeno has a great SPF.
Even at Whole Foods.
And Whole Foods, yeah, exactly.
They have some great organic, cold pressed oils and things like that.
Yeah,
that aren't super
exactly.
expensive. That can be really helpful for dry skin.
Yeah, you can really, and you could actually just pop those oils into the CeraVe cream if you want something, and you're still getting a great bang for your buck.
Yeah, I love mixing oils and moisturizers.
Oh
That's
my god,
favorite.
yeah, absolutely.
I almost feel like I wish that they would like somehow come with a little packaging that I could like pump it in and mix it myself, because otherwise it'll separate and be weird. But someone said, what is the best advice when it comes to getting facials and finding a good facialist as an extra boost to a skincare routine? This is right up your alley.
Yes. So first and foremost, yes, home care 24/7 is the most important. So that is what you want to really like spend your time doing, and that's where all your results are going to come from. However, a lot of times I do recommend people go to facialists for either if there's an issue or just to start building a really great skincare routine with your skin conditions and concerns. The way I like to start, or that I recommend people going in to find a facialist, is first, if there's a product line you really like using, sort of work backwards. If there's a product line you like, it doesn't react on your skin's great with it, see if there's, you know, a spa that offers facials using that product line, because then your skin's at least going to be happier, because the tools that are being used will be, you know.
I find that a lot of times if people are asking about how to find a facialist, I don't think they really have something. Yeah, they don't really have something. So I think a lot of times, I love a website called realself.com, if you've ever looked at that, where that will have like places for cosmetic procedures, med spas, anything like that. I always look on Yelp. I mean, granted, those aren't great, but if you don't have word of mouth for something, I think those are a great place to start looking at some reviews to get an idea, and then talking to them over the phone to get a feel of their customer service, or how they're addressing you, or if they're trying to rush you off the phone or something like that.
And a lot offer consultations. So, you know, if you can get a free consultation, or even if the consultation is paid, but it can lead into like it gets taken off the bill for the facial. That's something too. And Caroline on her, CarolineHirons.com, on her blog, she has, it's not a ton, so it might not be your area, but she has in certain places around the world, actually. Her favorites. So
She's been all around getting facials. She's like, I get facials around the world. Someone said, I have dry patches all over my face, but very oily nose and forehead. Should a spot treat the dry patches or hydrate my whole face? What products do you recommend?
You should hydrate your whole face just in general, because if it's true hydration, humectants, then hyaluronic acid, aloe, glycerin, etc. It's going to be great for most skin types, all basically. But patch treating, doing the little like ecosystems, I love that. Yes, it's not as fun. You're not like getting to massage and slather, but I mean, you were talking about this. If you have a dry patch, you're going to put the like heavier product, right?
Because if I put it all over, we were talking about one product in particular that's like a solidified oil. And if I was putting it all over my face, all of a sudden after like day 3 or 4, I started noticing that I was breaking out on my chin. It was just too heavy for me. So now what I do is, if I have like a really bad dry patch, I will just put it on that dry patch and I have no problems. But putting it all over my whole face just wasn't working for me.
So I mean, I really would recommend that. So hydration can go everywhere. But again, I think sometimes people, which is fine, but you know, they mean moisturization, or what's more typically known as moisturization, when they're saying hydration. It is totally fine to treat the little, because a lot of us I mean, most of the time we all have combination skin, and we're either more combo dry or more combo oily. Yeah,
and to me this kind of sounds like you're probably oily dehydrated.
Yeah.
So it probably sounds like you should be hydrating your entire face, not necessarily like if you're not talking about like a oil-based cream, you're talking about hydration, like
and I was gonna say products do recommend
something like
serum for sure.
Something like that. You should be putting that all over your whole face, even your nose if it's oily, because that can actually stop the oil production, because right now your skin is getting a message that it needs more, so it keeps producing producing more. So after something like that, you may seem like first couple days, like I'm noticing I'm more oily, but if you just give it a little bit, your skin will adjust to it and then stop producing so much. Someone said that they remember in my skincare videos that I mentioned we should layer on my skin products depending on how thick or thin the consistency is. Why is that important? And when you say consistency, do you mean because of how thick or thin the product feels, or is it because the actual ingredients in this? I'm asking because I have no idea what steps to go first in my skincare, acid, sunscreen, vitamin A. I do have a whole video on all my skincare routines, but you do need to go from thinnest consistency to thickest consistency. And the reason for that is because the thinnest are going to be your water-based products and your thicker consistencies are going to be your oil-based products. And we've talked about this. Oil and water don't mix. So you want to go with something that's the lightest that your skin can absorb. And then if you put an oil on top, anything else that you're putting that's a water-based, it's just going to sit there because it cannot penetrate that oil. So your sunscreen should be your last step in your skincare before your makeup in the morning. And otherwise, I have videos and all of that. But if you'd like to talk about like how you layer your products.
Yeah, but I mean, exactly what you just said.
Yeah.
And yes, it might not be the most, yes, there might be one time where like one product maybe should have gone after.
Yeah.
And then like we don't need to worry about that.
Yeah.
That's how you do it, general rule of thumb. Yes, so again, after cleansing, if you're using something like Hydrate the Mist, which we'll talk about that. Did we talk about that? It is coming up.
Yeah.
But mist, this would be your toner step. So again, water. And then you would follow up with Hydrate, thicker water.
Thicker, yeah.
Thicker water. And then afterwards you could go in with, this would not necessarily be a regular routine. You could totally indulge and enjoy. But then go with something, this is a water-based, very light cream. So I would have you do the performance cream first, then an oil.
Yeah.
Again, if you're getting into thicker creams, that's where it could get a little bit, not trickier, but like you could play around more with like the oil.
Well, so that's
cream.
what I do. So if I'm using, like, I love, I know you know April, I love Vintner's Daughter.
Yes.
If I'm using $185 oil on my face, that's going on my face first, and then I'm putting my $35 moisturizer that locks everything in, that's an oil-based as well. Some people always tell me, like, shouldn't I put my moisturizer on first and then an oil? I think it depends on the quality and price of the oil and also the quality and price of your moisturizer. So if I'm using an expensive oil, I'm using an inexpensive moisturizer. That's just the way that goes. And vice versa, if I'm using an expensive moisturizer and then maybe I want to lock it in with an inexpensive oil, I can do that too. But I just prefer, and I kind of like to mix my oils and moisturizers and
well, I love that too. And it's just different schools of thought. There's no wrong or right way.
Yeah.
Try it for yourself. If you like the cream first and then the oil, yay. Oil and cream, yay.
Yeah.
If it's a really watery lotion, I would recommend putting that on first and then the oil.
I just think it's pointless for people that are doing like, we talked about, like I wouldn't use La Mer skincare on my feet, but people that are using like, if you're using a $200 serum from them or like an oil and a $200 moisturizer from them, it's like, and most of their stuff has mineral oil in it. So that's really not going to be able, the molecule on that's too large, your skin can't absorb that anyway, so it's basically all just going to sit on top anyway. Part of their secret broth or whatever that is we've talked about then. So Monroe, I have very oily skin, drink plenty of water, and watch how much oils I eat. I have done a routine that was mentioned in a video by Steph, but still it consent work or doesn't, I think that meant to say, doesn't work after 2 or 3 months. What can I do to help the oil production to slow down?
So oil comes from within. So you can do as much as you want. But yeah, so it is, you could just have a very, very, very oily rich skin. So you could be on a routine that could be the best routine for you and you're still producing oil. I don't want to say to go to a doctor and like have things looked at, but I mean there's things you can do. However, make sure you're using a correct cleanser that is non-foaming. If you're truly, like even if you're too oily who could maybe get away with a foaming cleanser, I would use something like our Matinee cleanser, which is a water-soluble, non-foaming gel cleanser. So it sort of fits that bill without being stripping and dehydrating. So you're not starting off having already stripped the skin, you know, and then just hydration, humectants, the Hydrate serum, the Hydrate mist.
Water-based. Like when we're saying hydrate, we're talking about like water-based products, not, I think people mix up the same thing too. Like if you're dry, you're lacking oil, and if you're dehydrated, you're lacking water in your skin. So you can be oily and dehydrated. So you can be producing oil but lacking water in your skin. So like you want to make sure that you're balancing that out. So that could help slow oil production down.
Yes, absolutely.
If you're not getting enough.
And SPFs are hard. So if you are finishing with an SPF, I find a lot of people who are not oily like certain SPFs, but they're like, my one comment is they leave me feeling really oily at the end of the day. And it doesn't irritate their skin, it doesn't break it out, it's just they don't like the feeling of it. And I find that across the board with a lot of my customers and clients too. So maybe check out your SPF too.
Have you noticed if it's more
It's more chemical. It's more chemical than physical, but yeah.
Yeah, I find that I don't care for chemical sunscreens as much. There are a few I like, but I'm using P50 at night and Tarte Knockout in the morning. Is there any room for your retinol? It said either alternate one day or the other, trying to shrink those pores. So for me, his retinol is so gentle, I can use it after both of those products with no problem. Like, I don't have an issue with it. If it was prescription strength, I would absolutely not do it. But this one, since it's buffered in an oil too, it's gentle on the skin. So I would say yes, and if anything, I think you're going to get even better results following this with an acid because you've kind of like cleared the way for this to work more effectively. One
thing I just wanted to make note of with that comment is, of course I'm not seeing your skin in person, but doing that much exfoliation PM and AM and PM is a lot. And while I know you're trying to, help to reduce the appearance of pores and all of that, you can tip the scale and over exfoliate and break down the barrier, and then skin is overproducing oil, it's red, it's raw, and the pores actually appear way larger than they would if you were exfoliating 3 times a week as opposed to twice a day. So again, some people their skin can totally take that.
I do typically like P50 in the morning and Tarte Knockout at night, and I can do that because they're both lactic acids and my skin's good with it. Not everybody's can. And I also don't necessarily do it every day because if I'm testing new products or if I'm on a retinol and I give my skin a break, but I listen to my skin. Like if I'm out snowboarding or I'm out in the cold and I've had windburn on my skin, I'm not exfoliating at all. All I'm doing is soothing and moisturizing because you have to listen to your skin. If you're feeling tight, if you feel red, if you start noticing that you're getting like under skin like little white bumps or stuff, stop. You're overdoing it. Like, it's going to be unique to everybody's skin, what they can handle and what they can't. Because some, I think the spa that makes P50, I think they say that you can use it morning and night. But I'm like, that is an aggressive acid. That's super aggressive. And I do love it, but I only use that once a day. And the Tarte Knockout is the closest I've found to be a dupe for that, but it's not exact. It's missing the phenol and a few other things. But it's still, I think it's a good acid. I like the liquidy ones. I'm learning more so than the cream-based ones, like the serum.
I like lactic.
Yeah, because I like to be able to layer it with things. Like I loved Sunday Riley Good Genes, but I found myself kind of steering away from that more because it's more of a lotion consistency. So I'm like, I like the liquid ones better because then I can layer other things on top without having like the occlusives in there, like the silicone derivatives and all that stuff.
Oh, well,
yeah. Someone wrote, what's your ideal post-sweaty workout skincare routine? Well, we've talked about this. No sunscreen, for the love of God, while you're working out. It's like putting a tin suit on your face.
It's worse than working out in makeup as far as I'm concerned. Cleanse. Gentle cleanser though. Especially like, it would depend on when your workout's happening. Are you going to the gym at 6 a.m. and then the rest of your day is going to need an SPF and involve an SPF? Are you going at the end of the day or going in the middle of the day? So it's a little hard to, again, generalize. But super gentle cleanser, matinee cleanser, the treatment cleanser, sensitive or regular. Something gentle where you're not going to be over cleansing your skin if it's, the 3rd time that you end up cleansing your skin in the day. Hydrate serum, without a doubt. Put the humectants back in your skin, hyaluronic acid, aloe glycerin, and then keeping it really simple. If you're going about the rest of your day, you're going to sort of want to do the rest of your routine as you normally would, so that would be personal to you. If it was midday, I would just then slap on like an SPF, depending on where you are in time, or a light like performance cream, or a light oil. It's a 3-step, super simple around face and eye, knowing that you're maybe then going to do your night routine in 4 hours from then. So I'm thinking of it is that this is more of a midday, not quite ready for bed type routine.
If it's morning, I work out Tuesday through Friday early in the morning. So when I wake up in the morning, I use those microfiber washcloths that I love, and I actually use this first, or either one of these, but since this came out, I find myself reaching for this more, because if I am doing a spray tan too, this will help make it last a little longer. This one does have gentle enzymes in there that will exfoliate a little, but I just find that the spray tan lasts longer with this. So what I do in the morning is I just use a washcloth with this. I'll put a spritz on my face and I go to the gym. That is it. I don't put makeup on. I might fill in my eyebrows lately if I look like an arch villain that day, depending on how my my permanent cosmetics look, but even that. And then if I'm working out in the middle of the day and say I had appointments or something, I completely remove my makeup, and then I'll actually go on with a light moisturizer, something like his performance cream, just so, because my skin is dry, I know that I'm going to need something, or I might feel a little tight. And then I would cleanse my skin again, and I would actually go on, since I already probably did my morning steps prior to my makeup going on, I would then go on again with just a moisturizer, and then I would put SPF back on, and then my makeup back on, and then at night I would do my regular routine.
Yeah. But yeah, exactly. It would just depend on sort of where it's happening in the day.
Midday workouts are rough.
Oh yeah.
For me, I would always rather do them in the morning, just because I don't have the drive at night to do them. I'm like, when I come home from work, I'm tired. I'll find every excuse not to go, but in the morning, and it's easier for my routines too. Like I can come home, shower, do everything I need to do, and then do my full skincare, and I'm good. What's the general chemistry behind combining ingredients? How do you know when ingredients can and can't be combined?
It's very tricky.
Yeah.
And something that I pride myself on and that I work with our chemists on are ingredients and products that are meant to be, as of now, used together.
Yeah.
That might not always be the case.
Yeah, well,
you know, God forbid I come out with a benzoyl peroxide.
It's ever changing.
I don't, you know, if we came out with a benzoyl peroxide treatment, I would say don't use that with retinol, as you're not supposed to. There's a lot of great resources online, but when in doubt, like, be cautious. You know, just don't think like, oh, I think this will be fine, and do it. Like, it's way easier just to be cautious.
Well, sometimes what scares me is that, like in a lot of, I was noticing in like my favorite videos or something, I would mention my favorite like chemical exfoliators. And in my mind, I'm thinking like, I'm saying, you know, pick one. You don't need all of them. And then I'm hearing people being like, I'm using 3 of them at once at night. My skin's really red. I'm like, oh my God, no. I'm like, so I think it's important to understand what you're putting on your skin too. Like if it's calling it like an AHA or a BHA and you're using 3 of those at once, like you're going to have a problem. And again, the chemistry of that people go to school for years to learn all of that stuff, and what binds to what and what cancels out something else and what can have a reaction. I think in general, most products that are formulated over the counter that you're going to be getting, you're not going to run into any real issues with anything like that. Like there was that saying for a while that you shouldn't combine, I think it was niacinamide and vitamin C together.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because they were canceling each other out. But there's kind of Steven, which I will link below. He's an actual chemist, and he showed about how much of those 2 ingredients you need to use to cancel each other out, and it was like some obscene amount. So basically we were thinking at the time it was going to form like a 1-to-1 ratio and cancel each other out, but that's not even an issue. So I think otherwise you don't really have anything to worry about when you're buying from like a Sephora or on your website or anything else. Like everything's formulated to work together.
I love Steven, so yes. But
yeah.
With that question, like, I see.
Someone said, have you thought about new packaging for your face wash that comes with a pump?
So I like this question because most things are actually packaged for a reason that goes just beyond, like, we're just putting it in that.
Yeah.
And for instance, the treatment cleanser, sensitive and regular, when I first, years and years ago, formulated that, we tried to do it in an airless pump, we tried to do it, it is such a thick, gooey jelly formula that this was literally the only way, or a tub. And this is much more sanitary, it's much easier to travel with.
Yeah.
So it ended up there. Like, it was as simple or as confusing as that, but that's why it's in a tube. You can cut it open and get the last bits out. You don't have to like break anything.
I think it's easier to travel with for me because I do travel a lot. So like this is light compared to like a glass bottle.
And it's gonna be under the TSA size too.
And not just that. Think about this, guys. The more complex the packaging, the more expensive the components are, the more expensive the product's going to be.
This is also very true. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of extravagant, wonderful packaging, but it does up the cost.
I'd rather have better ingredients and better product than like fancy packaging. I'm like, look, because who am I showing my cleanser to and bringing it to work? Like, look what I cleansed my face with this bottle. What is the most overly hyped skincare brand or product that you've seen people using recently that just isn't good? And I think you're too nice to answer this. And because he has his own line too, it's kind of like, shouldn't say it, but I'll say some things. I dislike pretty much anything Glam Glow makes. I think that they have focused more on gimmicky things, and if that's clearly working for them. And I know it's like a cult favorite that a lot of people love, and I love the owner, I like the people that work there, but I really just don't like Tatcha. I think it's so overhyped for what you're actually getting, and I feel like they they focus on the packaging more so than the actual performance of the product. And so that's just for me. Again, I think the company's lovely, the owner is really nice. Everything I've tried from them has been lackluster to me, or actually given me a reaction, and my skin isn't reactive. So I've just been like, not interested, especially for the price. If you want to give me like gimmicky things for $6, maybe I'll play with them. But if it gets up to like, it's $85, I'm like, probably not. Probably not. That's not happening. No.
Yeah, and for me, just to generalize, it would just be, again, back to trends.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not into trendy things.
No glitter. You don't want glitter in face masks. Not interested.
It's blanket, but yeah.
How has owning your own brand changed the way that you look at other skincare brands? And then what makes a new product from another brand stick out to you? And how would you describe your products in 5 words or less? So let's take one question.
Oh, God.
Okay. So how has owning your own brand changed the way that you look at other skincare brands? Which is interesting, though, because you were just with... He's been down in LA, and you were just visiting with other skincare brands.
Yeah.
Like, so he was hanging out with May Lindstrom, Josh Rosebrook. Yeah.
I don't know if it really has, because I always, I'm in this industry for a reason, because I love skin, so I was already, like, in it. I wasn't in behind-the-scenes aspect of it, but I was in it. And then I trained for another skincare brand, so I was really sort of starting to get in the back end of it, not with my own brand. So it really hasn't changed it too much. Sometimes I get more interested in, like, the marketing aspect, like why a certain company is going a certain direction, if they were on, a different, what I thought like maybe like a different path, and they've like just gone off the, not deep end, but just a totally different direction.
Yeah, you're like, where did that come from? What about, do you ever look at, though, not knowing how much it costs you to produce something? Do you ever look at another skincare brand sometimes and you're like, that's way overpriced?
All the time.
Okay, so that's changed. Where you're like, I know how much that costs. It's way too much money.
And I know the costs that go into things like retail and retailers and advertising
and where you're
all
sourcing,
of that.
like responsible sourcing and margins for retailers and.
So yeah, I do understand all of that. But yeah, I mean not much, but more that type of thing.
Or you'd be like, why'd you use that ingredient? Because now that you're more in.
Oh yeah, and even not even in a bad way, but just curious.
Yeah,
like,
curious. Like, what made you pick that one over something maybe that you would have thought to use instead or something? And so then they said, what makes a new product from another brand stick out to you?
Yeah, that's a really great question. I don't know if I know the answer. I would say...
Like, name something that hasn't been from your line that has been something that you've been really interested in, that you can think of that launched this last year that's a skincare product. Can you even think of anything? I'm telling you, I'm the same thing. I've been in a funk because I'm like, nothing's really been exciting me.
I actually would probably say... If it's not an SPF, because we don't have an SPF, obviously, so I'm always looking at SPFs.
Like, what's your favorite type of product? Let me ask you that. Like, if you had to pick only one skincare product, it would be a cleanser?
Yeah. I'm a cleanser, as you can tell. But yeah, cleansers. Well, because too, Narita Joy has sort of coined this phrase, and it's so true, that she says 50% of your regimen is the cleanser. Yeah. And it's true. If you get that wrong, you're like...
Well, because if you have all the crap still left on your skin, it's like
or you've
problems.
Stripped.
Overstripped,
like,
and then you've caused more problems.
It's either or. So
then you get micro cracks in your skin, and then your first reaction is to want to put a moisturizer on, so now you've then sealed that in with probably a silicone-based moisturizer, and then that's how you get blemishes.
50% of your regimen, absolutely.
And so then the last part was, how would you describe your products in 5 words or less?
Accessible. Awesome. Effective. Fun. Affordable. Yeah.
Reasonably priced. I'll say that because affordable is a very...
It's relative.
Yeah,
and it's, but yeah, like I say, I don't, we are a great value.
Yeah.
It's not cheap. It's not cheap ingredients. It's just a great value.
It is.
Yeah.
Let's see. So someone said, best products for dry skin.
From our line, specifically treatment cleanser, whether sensitive or regular. Hydrate Mist once it's back in stock. Hydrate Serum. Hydration. And honestly, basically almost, and then this is coming back in a pretty new bottle, and it's being reformulated. And it's coming back soon too, actually, within the next, probably whenever this goes up, I would say like the next month or two. Let's say 9 months.
Just in case.
1, 2, or 9.
You always want to over promise. Oh wait. What is it?
Under promise.
Under promise, over deliver. I almost messed that up. They'll be like, wait, over promise, under deliver? We don't want that.
Coming back with a new name, Soothing Facial Oil, but that would be perfect for dry skin. And honestly, I don't want to say almost everything, but you know, the matinee cleanser I wouldn't recommend for dry skin. The performance cream would be nice. You can add an oil into it, but it's really, really light, so that wouldn't be my go-to moisturizer for a drier skin. But everything else, you know, the hydrators are great for layering. It's not going to be, you don't just use the mist or you don't just use the serum and then leave it. That would just be a layering step or a booster. And then the oils and then the cleansers for sure.
Yeah. There ever be a EU, UK supplier for your products? The custom fees are killer.
Yes, and I think had answered that one. But yes, but we have a blog post up on jordansamuelskin.com that answers every question that we have received or that we know the answer to for the EU UK process. We're currently getting EU certified, which is a long process.
Yeah, because every claim in the EU that you make on your packaging, you have to back up with testing too.
And certain ingredients and certain things and percentages, and we took the opportunity to going through this process to really make things better, just better formulas overall. And then with that too, it's like then you're having to do another full run of product and another full relabeling of product, and you know it's expensive and time consuming, and we're so excited, and we're not, you know, something I keep saying because I want to make sure that everybody knows this, we're not selling there just because. We would have been there 5 years ago if we could. We love all of our customers, and it's simply just time, energy, money, and support.
And logistics.
Yeah,
it's hard.
It's hard. It's a lot.
Said, can you please explain the difference between humectants, emollients, and occlusives, and how the difference between hydration and moisture? So we already talked about hydration and moisture, so let's talk about humectants, emollients, and occlusives. And
we actually we have a great blog post about that. That was just from like a week or two ago.
So I'll link that below too, because I'll search.
And it really spells it out, and it spells out those three. And so humectants, that's going to be stuff that attracts water to the skin. So that's hydrate serum, that's hyaluronic acid is probably the most common, like glycerin, aloe. Tamarin's a great one, cucumber. Then you have emollients, which are going to be more your lighter plant oils. Even silicones can be emollient, moisturizers. Some lovely fatty alcohols, fatty acids, emulsifiers even can act as that, those fatty alcohols. And then occlusives, that's your waxes, your heavier butters, heavier silicones. I'm trying to keep it,
occlusive, think of occlusive as like, it's excluding things. So it's creating a barrier. And occlusive is creating a barrier, so nothing's supposed to get out, nothing's supposed to get in. Yeah,
things like lanolin, beeswax.
Yeah, really heavy dimethicone and like your moisturizer, if it's really high up there, it's gonna create like a film on your face you could think of. And a humectant, think about it as pulling. So it's pulling moisture from the air into your skin, and then the humectants are, what else did we cover? The occlusives and emollients. Got them all. Yep. I said, when are we going to be getting more of the Italian collection items, and when is the mist coming back? That's all the info she needs in her life.
Perfect. Great. There should be one more body product in the Italian collection by the time this video goes up. So help me God. And we are hopeful that we will have a facial product in the Italian collection at some point this year or in 2025.
I saw your pictures, by the way. I was so jealous. I was like, why was I not invited?
You were. Next time.
Okay, I'm going.
And then, the mist. The mist we should have, it's going to be an updated formula that's wonderful. We've just had some manufacturing delays, and it should be beginning of March. It's all, it's a growing process right now for the business, and a lot of it is just sort of time consuming and trying to work with new things and get everything better in place for the customer to have better product, better shipping, better everything.
That's what we like. Constantly improving, always evolving. Someone said they'd also love for you to talk about his general attitude towards skincare. He always seems so calm and kind, and I never see him try to sell someone on his line if it wasn't right for them or put down other people's products. It's refreshing with all the drama that has been going on in the industry.
Thank you.
And you do. You keep it simple. Well, because he's a nice man.
Thank you.
I think that helps.
Thank you.
He's not like me. It
also doesn't need to be like, skincare is so fun. Like, that's why in the industry it's so fun. And so I don't think there needs to be hard and fast rules, and I don't think you need to be skincare shamed, which people are, whether it's green beauty versus more of clinical or that goes both ways too. You're like, it just doesn't, it's fun. And, you know, everybody's coming from their place of their own different philosophy, and they're coming from there because that's what they've seen works on themselves or on clients or customers or whatever. And
we've talked about that with doctors.
Yeah,
like you could all go to the same basic education and learning from the same kind of books or philosophies, but then how you would choose to interpret that and apply that to your patients is going to be different. That's why people go for second opinions and different things. People read charts different. They read just everything different. So just have to find something that kind of meshes with your skin and your needs and your budget. That's important.
And honestly, that is a great place of where I come from, because not everything works for everyone. So I mean, it's hard when I read a bad review of the line or somebody didn't get on with something, and I don't take it personally, because a lot of times, you know, I hope that like it just didn't work for them in their routine, but they find another way to use it, or they're still going to try something else. And you know, as we grow too, we're going to have products that aren't for everybody. Yeah. So you just have to...
We've talked about before, like, that's like if someone says peanuts are the worst thing on the planet. I'm like, only if you're allergic. I'm like, otherwise it can be a great source of protein for you. Or like, exactly. It's not bad for everybody. It may just be bad for you, or it didn't work for you. It doesn't mean it's a terrible, like, peanuts are a terrible ingredient. It just isn't the right thing for you, so...
Exactly.
Okay, this one said best silicone plus fragrance plus alcohol-free moisturizers and an SPF that works well with retinol and acne-prone combo skin. Sorry, I'm picky.
So what was her first question?
They said best silicone and fragrance and alcohol-free moisturizer.
I mean, I'm going to top this in this specific instance, but the Performance Cream, super, super lightweight, no fragrance, no essential oils, no silicone.
I figure almost every, like, if it's an oil-based moisturizer, it's going to have silicones in it. Some kind of silicone derivative in it.
But the Performance Cream, truly. And then, the other one is such a personal question. I mean,
they said SPF that works well with retinol.
I feel like you might have a better recommendation than...
Yeah, again, I would go back to that, like, Elta MD that I've mentioned in my more affordable skincare, or my routines for multiple, like, all different types of skin tone or skin types, because the ingredient deck on that is really simple and it shouldn't cause irritation to your skin. But again, shouldn't. If you're going through, like, it shouldn't. I mean, everything I can say in theory, but until I've tried it on my own skin, I don't know. Like, again, I know formulations. I know theoretically what should work on, like, oily or reactive skin, but since that's not my skin and I can't try it myself, and I don't have my hands on skin like he does, I can't say. Yeah. So, someone says, I'm confused with my skin. I have dry skin, so I use different moisturizers to help, but they always break me out. I've tried so many. I've used ones for oily skin to see if that would help, but it does nothing. Also, I feel most things cause me to break out. Any advice?
And
I looked at her in her thumbnail. She looks fairly young.
Okay. So, I mean, with that, too, there could be...
Like, she looks like she might be in, like, teens or early 20s.
Okay, so with that, two things, then. There could be a lot of hormonal things going on, which is an unfortunate reality.
And that's why I bring up the age.
It's very important. It's very important, because a lot of times and I have parents sometimes bring in younger kids, and I'm like, I don't want to say ride it out, you know, go to a dermatologist at that point, but then, and again, if a lot of people refer to breakouts differently. They could have two pimples, and that's a breakout to them. Yeah. They could have more severe breakout. So that depends too. But with the information she had said, I would say get into layering. Yeah. Again, it doesn't have to be 15 products. It could be 2 or 3. But hydrate serum. Maybe hydrate mist, hydrate serum, and a really light moisturizer. You know, if she is really dry but has breakouts, she might not want an oil-free or really lightweight moisturizer. But it could work as the sort of last step if there's, you know, humectants and hydration underneath the mist, the serum. Also, non-foaming cleansers. Yep. You know,
and I think it's important to figure out, you have to figure out the cause before you can treat it. So it's like, your skin might be breaking out because you're so dry. Like, that could be a cause of the irritation. Your skin, it depends again on what the breakout looks like, but your skin could be irritated if you're too dry and you're stripping your skin, and then you're getting blemishes from that too. So it's not always, I think a lot of people think automatically blemishes, oily.
Always.
Blemishes, oily. It's like, you can get them when you're dry too from being overly dry.
And that's why cleansing too is a big, you know, so while she might be worried about the moisturizer and the moisturizing step, if, again, we're back to cleansing, 50% of the regimen, if you're doing a highly foaming cleanser, your skin's going to be dry no matter what. Nothing's really going to work. It's going to sit. It's going to, I mean, we go back to the whole cycle we've been talking about.
Yeah. Someone said, not an actual question, just wanted to say how much they adore you and your products. I get a lot of compliments on my skin, and I tell everyone it's thanks to you and your line.
Oh, thank you.
Question was, what's your ideal skincare routine? Like, so let's say for you.
Oh, for me personally?
Yeah, so like, what in the morning? What in the morning? What do you do?
In the morning, matinee gel cleanser, my matinee gel cleanser. And then I do my, depending again on...
Oh, wait, and let me ask you first, what's your skin type? So
skin type is combo dry sensitive.
Okay, so you got it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, jackpot!
I mean, and mainly the concerns there are more like the oil is so few and far between, and it's enough just for me to more just get like, yeah. But cleanse with matinee gel cleanser, hydrate mist and hydrate serum, or just hydrate serum depending on the dryness and the dehydration at the time. Mm-hmm. If I'm being good and I'm not having my martinis, probably just the hydrate serum. And I'll do that.
Mist though too. I just
I just like it in general, and I'll do it during the day. Like it might not be part of the routine. And then hydrate serum around the eye area as well. And then one of the different SPF I'm using right now, I'm using the new, I think it's just the Supergoop SPF 40 Moisturizer, the new one in a jar. I'm just trying that out right now. And then at night, cleanse with either the sensitive cleanser or something new we're working on. And hydrate mist, hydrate serum, or just hydrate serum, and the retinol oil. It's literally that simple. I'm not kidding. Yes.
No, that's good. Keep it simple. Some people, you know what, when I first got into skincare, I remember I was going to, same thing, I was at a facialist, and I actually started with Obagi, which is like that whole medical grade, and I was like, who has time for 5 steps? It's so funny I say that now. Now I'm like, I got 27! No, I'm just kidding. I mean, it's not that many, but I still have a lot. But I remember being like, who has time for this? Because literally I was using a makeup wipe and getting into bed. That's all I was doing. And then I was wondering why my skin was so red and irritated. But at the time also, I wasn't wearing a lot of makeup. Like I would wear maybe like Bare Minerals, powder foundation, but I still would just use like a makeup wipe that had heavy alcohols, drying my already dry skin out, and using Bare Minerals, which is a powder product, sucking what little moisture I have left in my skin out, and then going to bed and wondering, why is my skin so red and patchy and gross? So,
yeah.
It said, what skincare routine would you recommend for a 23-year-old who wants to do the very least at this point in her life?
Great. Non-foaming cleanser, probably for sure. Even if, so again, if you're oily, non-foaming, water-soluble gel cleanser. If you're more dry, something like a jelly cleanser is perfect, I think.
Jelly cleansers.
And then honestly, probably starting off an antioxidant or a hydration serum, like hydrate, and then an SPF during the day. I mean, that's 3 steps, the hydration serum or antioxidant serum, if it's formulated correctly, can go around face and eye. 3 steps in the morning, 3 steps at night. Yeah, SPF. So 3 steps morning and then 3 steps night, cut out your SPF and replace it with a really gentle moisturizer, something like Performance Cream or something like from the drugstore, if, you know, but just sort of bland in a good way. Just get hydration in the skin, just get, you know, just create up a really great create-up. That's not even a thing.
We just want to cleanse, moisturize, and protect. Cleanse, moisturize, protect. Keep the cleanse, create up.
Whatever that means, do that.
That was very ballet. I said, I'm 26. Should I start prescription retinols to deal with my textured skin, acne, and pitted scars, or should I go into laser treatments? I've been using Luna for months, and there isn't a big difference.
So this is where I'm not big into laser, and I'm not big into prescription strength retinol, but again, there are people that both of those things were meant for.
Yeah.
Just talk to a doctor. I mean, there's no...
Yeah, I would definitely say go to a doctor. For me, what I've noticed is one of my best friends from Chicago, she had really bad cystic acne when she was growing up, and she had really deep pitted scars on her skin, and she did a few rounds of Fraxel. And when I tell you, I cannot even tell that she ever had it. It's amazing, but the downtime was substantial. She looked like she had like waffle grid patterns on her face, and it got to a point where it was like bleeding because it's deep. I mean, to stimulate that collagen, and basically you're burning off the top layers of your skin. So it is intense, it is expensive, it's not something to take lightly. You have to plan out your schedule, where you're going to be, how much time you could take off. But again, that is something, and I would get multiple opinions on that. I wouldn't go to just one, you know, med spa and hear what they have to say, because a lot of times some of them might just try to sell you on something. So I'd want to hear what maybe 2 or 3 of them had to say, and then go with your gut.
Agreed, but yeah, for sure.
Do you have any plans on developing an acid or an exfoliation product?
Yes. And
my
hopefully,
favorites!
Well, in the works, so hopefully this year. But yes.
I'm always like, burn my face off. Like,
and if people know the line too, it'll be more for a sensitive,
gentle,
a gentle.
Yeah, you're not like about the aggressive stuff. Caroline and I are like, give us all the acids. I'm like, we just want to be embalmed in P50.
I just want, my big thing with acid is going back to what we said earlier too, is being able to, if somebody overuses it, they won't injure their skin essentially, or damage their skin, or damage their barrier. And that's my whole, like, that's the fine line we're really trying to create with this product right now, is a really great exfoliating product that doesn't allow people to overdo it while still getting a great result.
Yeah, because that is a fine line. Too. Get results without it being something that's so mild it doesn't do anything, without that burn my face off.
And keeping it simple too, where people can be like, I do this once a day. Done. Yeah. Not Monday, Wednesday, Friday, skip Sunday.
I know, and then they're like, what day of the week it is? I did it 2 days back to back, now my skin is bright red. You're like, oh no.
So all the things that are, already in our line, keeping it fun and simple.
I just graduated from school for aesthetics. They said, might we ask how you got your start in the business after graduation, and your #1 tip for estheticians starting out?
The great thing that I loved about aesthetics was I didn't realize all the opportunities there was, to whether it was training with a skincare brand, working retail and learning about products and giving consultations in a department store, or any of these wonderful stores that are out there now, Green Beauty or otherwise. Or if you really want to be in the treatment room, go to a spa where your hands are going to be on skin constantly. And that was what I did. I interviewed at, well, actually when I first graduated, the place that I knew, I was like, I have to work there in Seattle. They weren't hiring, and I was so distraught. And I let it sit for like 3 days, and then all of a sudden they were hiring. I thought it was a joke.
You're like, that was meant to be.
Jumped on it and got the position, but I wanted that position because I wanted my hands to be on as many skin and skin types and skin conditions as possible, because there's no other way to get that experience under your belt than to do it yourself. You can watch a video, you can have somebody teach you, but you need to be doing it yourself. And then hopefully getting that clientele back so you can see if things improved or not, and keep tweaking. But so with that, sort of find out which direction you want to go, and they're all great and they're all fine. Some people think they want to do X and they realize they want to work in skincare and have the knowledge, but not be hands-on, or vice versa. So find out what you want to do. If it is hands-on, a really great spa where you're going to get clients in.
Because when you have a private practice, you have to have all your own clientele already built out.
So
if you're like renting in like the Solano Suites or one of those, or something like our Sola Suites, you have to already have your own clientele. So it's probably best to go to a spa first.
Exactly.
Yeah. So thank you guys for all your questions. There are a ton. We answered as many as we could. Make sure you check out Jordan's channel for the second half, because we're going to break this up, half on my channel, half on his channel. And thank you so much for tuning in, guys, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.